whole lot of loving is what we'll be bringing. We'll make you happy.
Hello and welcome to the grand finale performance of the Skills of Independence, the culminating episode. I saved the best for last. I'm going to show you today, one step at a time, how to make these wonderful, wonderful, beloved necklaces. There is no limit. It's limitless. I love watching my students make their necklaces. They are so creative. So I'll start by showing you what you have to make your necklaces. First you have to have beads, and I have tons and tons of beads. These are pony beads with the big holes, and you can get them, I would suggest, online or Michael's, any of the, Hobby Lobby of the craft stores have them. But I suggest going online because the craft stores don't have, for example, they don't have certain beads. They don't have these hearts. My students love these hearts, and you have to order those online. This necklace that I'm wearing today actually has glass beads. It has special glass beads. They're more expensive, and they're not for all the students, because I buy these glass beads with my own money. But this is a combination of glass beads and heart beads. And I just love this necklace because it just goes with. So one of my aides saw this the other day at school and said, "I want one." So we made her one, and then somebody else saw hers and wanted one. Adults, we're giving them to the adults. So you have to order your beads, and also we have alphabet beads, which are super important. My students, they could lose their necklaces, but if they have these alphabet beads on them, just the first and last, and once in a while if their name is really short, I let them use the alphabet beads for their whole name. But you run out of vowels for these alphabet beads. You run out of the vowels, and then you have to buy a whole nother set, and they're fairly expensive. So I just added alphabet beads a couple years ago. For the first 20 years or so, we didn't have those. And then there are others online that are just specialty beads that you can get that are just so cool. And so you also have to have the lanyards, of course, and these are from Office Depot. And this pack is, I think, $10 for this pack of, they're about $1, well, they're less than $1 each. But my school gets a discount from Office Depot, so it's even better than that. I think they're like 40% off. So you have to have these. And I just have a box of them. I have so many. Start off, order more than you need, because you're going to need more, because you never know how many kids are going to become your masters. So here's where you start, my friends, with a pair of scissors, and you cut this in half. Just like that. And this first step, I like my students to be able to make their necklaces, but they can't do the first step. The first step is the tricky step with the tape. You have to create, get a piece of tape about 3/4 of an inch, I'd say. And the skinniest tape possible. This is really cheap tape. I think it's from the dollar store. Yeah. The cheaper tape is better, actually. And so you take a piece of this tape, and you put half of it, you have half of it hanging off the end, because you want a tip. You press down really hard. My students cannot do this. I have never found a student who can do this, even 8th graders. So this is the first thing you'll have to practice this. And you just push, 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 and wrap, wrap, wrap as tightly as you can make it until you have a point at the end. You want a point, an absolute point. Keep taping until it sticks to all sides. And see, that one didn't work. That doesn't happen very often. It didn't work at all. It just fell off. That's interesting. That has actually never happened in all these years. Of course it happens now because I'm making a video. It has to happen. So here we go again. Press, press, press. And get that point. See, there's that point. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but it's a pretty darn good point. There we go. And so then I do the other side. I'll do that for you. about 3/4 of an inch. If it's too short, it won't be long enough. If it's too long, it makes the tape too thick and the bead can't go through. So you get used to how long the tape is. I would say it's like 3/4 of an inch. So you press down, wrap it around. The other day I had a second grader making her necklace, and I had to put this tape on 3 times for her. It just didn't want to work. So you just will get, you'll see as you begin to master this, there are just moments where it just doesn't work. And there's my tip. So I tell my students, give me your first 2 beads, because I want to test my tape to make sure that it's good. And so I'll just pick a couple pink beads here, and it just goes. Sometimes the first one is hard to go through. That one worked just fine. And I'm going to kind of retwist the tape a little bit there. And another pink one. Usually my students do a pattern, and it matches on both sides, kind of match when you put the whole thing together. And this one goes right on. And then I push those down. I push those down a little bit, and I make sure they're even. Often my students will start with hearts, or you can start with your alphabet bead. There are no hard and fast rules. Often they'll see in other students that they like and kind of copy. But anyway, so then I hand it to my student like this. And when they come to the library to make their necklaces, they often bring a friend. It's so much more fun to make it with a friend. And their friend helps them find colors that they're looking for, etc. And it's really fun. So then you have this at the end, and they have 32 beads on each side. And you can do a little bit more. 32 is a really good number. And then when it's all done, then they're going to give it to you, and you are going to put a really good knot on it. But before you put the knot on, I take it back. Before you put the knot on it, you're going to put duct tape. Now, I'm showing you black duct tape because I've been using black a lot lately these days. But on this necklace, I have gold. It doesn't really matter. You could have any color duct tape that you want. But the idea with the duct tape is that you put, I always cut off. I cut off this. This can really make their necks itch. You want to cut that off. Cut off that tape. This tape is softer. It's nice. And it keeps it from raveling. If you don't put this duct tape on, it will ravel. You'll have to make the whole necklace over again. And so you make sure you tell them, now, if this tape starts to come off, which it doesn't, it's great. But once in a while, once out of every 100 necklaces, they bring their necklace to me and it's all raveled because the duct tape came off. And don't get the really stiff duct tape. There's cheap duct tape. It's like art tape, and then there's really good duct tape in it. And so don't go cheap on it. Get the softer stuff. Anyway, you put that on. You put the duct tape on, and then you put a really good knot in the thing. A super, super good double knot, right? And then you push all the beads down, and then it's done. It's just like, there you go. Now, my students have to wear their necklaces except at PE or when they're going to be moving around a lot, where they might lose it or something. But the day they make their necklace, they get to take it home and show their parents. They're so proud. But then when they come back, they bring it back. So that could be any day of the week that they take their necklace home. But the very next day, they are supposed to bring that necklace back and never take it home again, period. Even at the end of the year, because they're going to use the same necklace in the fall. And they're always, can I make a new necklace, and I let them, and then they have 2 necklaces, and they're so proud to have 2 necklaces. Or a couple of beads break, and the necklace wears after a couple of years. It does. These beads break once in a while. Not very often, but once in a while. And so I will let a student remake a necklace, and I want them to be really proud of their necklace. I want them, like I had an 8th grader, no, she was a 7th grader this year, who said that she was tired of the colors of her necklace, just an A+ student, and she had new colors that she really liked and new clothes, and she wanted to make a new necklace to match her new clothes. And I said, okay, let's do it. Don't tell anybody that I'm letting you make a new necklace just to match your new clothes. But, she was so cute about it. It's like, whatever it takes to make them happy, I'm so about that. And so there you go. There's your video on making a necklace. I have so many of these over the years. I have necklaces to match my clothes. I admit it. I have favorite necklaces that go with certain outfits, and so and all the teachers and all the aides and secretaries and everybody wears a necklace. Once in a while, my principal doesn't have his on, and I'm like, "Where's your necklace?" So I'm rigid about that. When I walk into a classroom, if you're a master, you need to have your necklace on. I'm very strict about it, and so I think that's a standard that everybody. I hope you adopt the skills of independence. I'm so excited about helping the teachers of America in schools all across. I want this to be all across the United States of America. We have masters of the skills of independence. This has to spread. I'm so excited about that. So thank you so much for today. And now we start a new focus on emotional intelligence, which will change your life and the life of your students. Here we go. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.